All right. Hi, everybody. This is such an awesome episode. Chuck, I love it. I love seeing you. Episode 20.
Five. Holy cow.
25. It's a big
25.
episode for us. And we're kind of hitting those reflective episodes where I was kind of, you know what, I watched a bit of our first episode and I remember I didn't have the Zoom figured out, so it only flipped back and forth between the speaker. Now we've got this sort of gallery view going on, which is awesome. We had sports jerseys on and I had a baseball background. I watched a bit of it and I feel like we're so young going back, but it was only 20 it was only like 3/4 of a year ago. But it feels like we were almost babies then, because we've grown so much with the episode and the feedback and the guests. But I'm not sure how
Well,
you want to sum up. Yeah, how do you want to
well,
sum up
talk
kind of
about the
quickly?
guests. What's kind of cool is the relationships we've made with some of these folks, and you
Yeah,
become friends on Facebook, and you're seeing what they're doing with the products and how it's become solutions for them, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, I was watching Jarvis again today. Like, I just think it's so cool to for people to have the same kind of interest, to come from all different walks of life all across the North America and connect like that. I just think it's phenomenal. I really do. So
and even broadening it because I've just noticed that even we've talked about how many countries we're already in. It's expanded this week as well. I'm
yep.
not sure if you've noticed, but it's there sitting there, as well as I talked to two people that I've been following. I connect with names through like the ripple effect through different avenues and friends on Facebook, such as through Jarvis and all our other great men's health members, but connected with somebody in Hawaii, connected somebody with in the UK. So now it's about trying to figure out hours on how we could get them to do an episode like that. We might have to record one like that because it'd be middle of the night. I don't know, but just thinking ahead, just thinking about options there to if we get them. But true to that, the friendship's number one in my book.
And then daylight saving time a week later still has me all screwed up. So
Oh yeah.
whatever time in the middle of the night you want to have, we get somebody from Europe on, you just let me know. I'm game.
Yeah, I
So
could probably just get up. Yeah, exactly. If we do it, I'll get up in the middle of the night. We'll just have to change the time on our advertisement or whatever. It'll get done. I trust in that. So, yeah, going back over those episodes, we've been just like we've always been mentored, at least to me, keep it consistent.
yep,
And I think there was one week we didn't get it, and that's because we were at TLA in
yep, that was the
Vegas
only one.
and came back, and that was reasonable. So you'll see me sipping on my mug, my nice Vegas Starbucks mug. I had to pick it up there. I had to. So cheers. Um, and I thought, we do something. We don't have a guest this week because we just wanted to keep it real between you and I, reflect on the journey. But we added a little twist to this week. So what are we up to?
So you talking about in terms of what we're going to do tonight?
Yeah. What are we gonna? How are we gonna handle this show? Are we just gonna talk back and forth? Or are we gonna bring
Well,
some
it's going to be
spice?
the Billy and Chuck top five for each of us. Top
Oh,
five Tranont products, right?
yeah, yeah, right.
We'll start at number five and kind of talk just a little bit about what it does. One of the things that, because we've spent so much time talking about Transform, and rightfully so,
Yeah, absolutely.
you see all of those, everybody talking about what it's done for them and how it's changed their lives and people that they love, their lives. And so I'm glad we spent that much time, but we have so many solutions for everybody. And I find myself kind of getting grounded back in that a little bit, right? So I'll kick it off with number five for me. And let's also say that they're all great products. I mean, it's really, really hard to try and put them in numerical order. And I'm sure they're going to change in a couple of months again. Very curious
Yeah.
to see what.
Just one second for our watchers. So I don't know Chuck's,
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah.
doesn't know
No.
mine. So we have no clue if they'll be the exact same, completely opposite, the same. What we don't know. So as this comes, we're going to try to go through this. We're going to snake our way through our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And no, this is in
All right.
real reactions. All right. Here we go. Number
All right. So
five. What do you got?
number five for me is Boost. It's the nitric
Right.
oxide formula. You hold it up there to my
Yeah.
camera right there. I just, playing softball all summer long and golfing and everything else I was doing, I just used Boost to improve my workouts and get me through softball at a level that I could play, but without making me jittery, without making me not be able to sleep. I could still sleep when I got back from softball. So number five for me is Boost. What's your number five?
My number five is Nourish.
Ah, there we
I
go.
love it. And you know what? Ironically, this is the one that took me the longest to get into a routine because I was trying. You try one product, you go for a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, and as you build up your repertoire, this one kind of went off, and I kind of went through a non-smoothie phase. So this is where I kind of have this every morning, and I'm not. People can't see the side, but if you can read this, this is like A to Z, all the sort of vitamins and minerals that you want, and has protein in it. So for me, I found I was lacking in nutrition in the other pieces. And even though I was trying to do intermittent fasting, I was definitely hitting the middle of the day and having a little bit of not a crash because of the products I was taking, but because I wasn't filling myself up and building myself up over time. So I love Nourish and I have that every morning and I can't live without it.
Yeah, only 99 calories, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I use it as well. I love the taste.
Yeah.
have a
Absolutely.
friend who actually puts it in their brewed coffee and gives it a little
Oh,
mocha kind of a thing, right? Kind of neat. So
yeah.
and loves
I
it.
love it.
So all right. So what's your number
Right.
four?
My number four kind of goes into the same way. You talked about coffee. For me, it's Mojo. And so mine, I was never a huge coffee drinker until about 3 years ago. And I say huge with a grain of salt because I know comparatively you probably have a story coming. I'm only guessing. Um, I used to drink pop and I started with regular pop and then I switched to, and for me maybe that's a Canadian term, soda, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I'm not sure if I'm doing it justice for our American viewers, but then I switched to get rid of the sugars into the diet form, but the aspartame was giving me headaches, so I weaned off of that. I needed something, so I started with coffee. I think my regular was about 4 or 5 a day. Part of it was just routine. I'm talking to people,
Yep.
but it didn't always do the trick. I never loved hot liquids, and this one I can kind of put in there. So Mojo right here,
All
it's
right.
clean energy. Um, I basically have one a day. It it doesn't give you a crash. It bursts, it kind of builds up your metabolism. I love that. And then also we're talking about how it just the serotonin level makes you feel good.
Yep.
I think there's so many things, and I'll leave for some for you to elaborate on because I know it's one of your favorites too. So maybe a spoiler alert there. I don't know, but for me, Mojo, the rich chocolate, for me, because of that, not connoisseur, or maybe some people that are such have such a good coffee taste, it can kind of blend. There is a Brazilian coffee, and people love that flavor,
Yep.
but some people don't. For me, it's this. It's the rich chocolate, kind of that hot chocolate piece, and sometimes I put it in the remnants of like a Keurig pod to kind of have a little bit of a mocha flavor. So
Very
that's
good.
number four for me. What about you, buddy?
Number four for me, I don't have the bottle. I have the product upstairs. I don't know what the heck happened to my bottle. I know I packed some enrich the digestive enzymes. I
Mhm.
packed some to go away and I just lost the bottle. So, but for me, that was a life changer, coming off of cancer, colon cancer 10 years ago and beating it. It just kind of changed. It changed my daily routine. Before I started taking enrich and the digestive enzymes,
Mhm.
I was in the bathroom all the time. Now I feel like I'm like everybody else. I just I go when I have to go. It's not that big of a deal. And so that one's number four for me. Um,
That is, you know what? And this is why this company is so great because I know from previous episodes and just talking with you as a person how impactful this
okay.
product has been on you. And
And
it
for
comes in
that,
at number
the number
four.
four,
Yeah,
I
I
know
know.
it
I'm
was.
like,
I
I know
was
this is huge. So this is why
it's
this is
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
So number three
Awesome.
for
Yeah.
me is transform.
Okay.
Um, really, really quick, right? I mean, I from I know that it's sugar transforming enzymes, and I know all the data and people looking at how much weight they've lost. And but for me it was really, I've seen you post about brain fog. For me it's about the mood, and leveling out my moods. I work retail. We're going into a very stressful time of year, and the little things in the past would not set me off. I'm not an angry person, but man, you're just like, what am I going to do? And you start feeling a little despondent. With transform, I don't feel that way. It's almost like, bring it, give me more. Give me more bad news, give me more stress, because I can do anything. I feel bulletproof when it comes to it. It curbs my appetite, so I'm not coming home and just eating everything in sight. I just, it's for a new product. It's really just been phenomenal for me. And that's my number three. What about you?
Transform. Nice. We got a first matchy match.
Yes, yes.
Um, all the things you've said. I think that one of the biggest things people see out there is the comparative, like you mentioned, the weight loss. For me, I've been pretty open that in the first couple days, weeks, that building up my nutrition and the fiber actually, brought my weight to a different piece because fiber has, creates poop and poop has some weight to it. But it's those sneaky things that you didn't know. And right off the bat, yeah, the posts that I regularly make is you don't know brain fog until you don't have it.
Right.
And so I would say the brain fog for me is huge. But I noticed that some of the pants that I've had to wear, more so I could get away before without a belt. And now I have to wear a belt. And even my hockey pants for playing hockey, I'm like, before you didn't want to buy it because they were ripped up and this stuff, but now it's either buy suspenders and hold them up or buy new pants.
Right.
And so, as much as weight can be an indicator, it's a small piece to what the story is. So, I actually found that I was losing an inch, but my weight wasn't going down. And so, it was being dispersed in different ways. So, for those people that are watching that are, a week or two into this, we're only like a month into this product, and it takes a good 2 or 3 months to balance out, at least 2 weeks for me. So, brain fog and just kind of that part and parcel to one of the products you've already mentioned, which is Enrich, and just feeling energized throughout the day, the support with digestion.
Well, not from a weight loss, but how about, we're going to call it weight management.
Yes.
I posted, I spent some time in Notre Dame with some friends
Yep.
that I haven't seen in a while. If anybody follows me at all, you see the food that I post, where the stuffed pumpkin pancakes and caramel apple, French toast, and it goes
Love
on
it.
and on. And, in years past, I would have gained 5 pounds over a weekend like that, right? I'm not really moving like I normally do. And, I came back a pound less. And
That's crazy.
it's got to be the transform. It just has to. It has to be a big part of that. So
Yeah,
for me, anyways, everybody's different, but that's for me. All right.
exactly.
What's next for
Number
you?
exactly. So I guess maybe more fitting because we're talking about, but in number two, Enrich.
Rich.
And
Yeah,
so last weekend we drove to Boston, for or Boston area, but we went into Boston for a hockey tournament for my son. That's a good 7.5, 8 hours drive for us. And normally I'd be so worried about every single pit stop, where you were, upset stomach, and I
you
wouldn't
know
and I
that
wouldn't
feeling.
eat. Exactly. And so the ability to do that, and then you're out of routine. The morning had this little like continental breakfast buffet. And so you're eating it because it's there and it's trying to break that mental routine that I didn't need to, but I did eat it anyway. So long story short, the combination between transform that I would take about an hour beforehand and then the enrich about 15 minutes before and as needed afterwards to settle it down, drive in on the way home, my stomach wasn't upset. Like that is such a win from every reason, especially mental. Like just that
No.
worry taken out of there. So these digestive enzymes, what I didn't know before I joined the company is that yes, I was taking probiotics, but there's a prebiotic, and that's great because they complement each other. There's good and there's different bacteria in our gut. But what I didn't know is that the enzyme actually blows it up by 10,000, 100,000% to get those pro and prebiotics to do more work. And that's what I was missing. I only had one part of the puzzle. And I'm not saying that that was the best product of the puzzle, but you throw the triad for these in, you don't know what you're missing. And that was one of my first loves of products.
Wow. All right. So my number two would be the Mojo. That's
Nice.
number two for me. So, you talked about coffee drinking. So I drank 2 pots of coffee a day. I know people may not believe that or don't think it's right, but I would drink 2 pots of coffee before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd have a pot before I went to work and I have a pot at work. It's more of a habit. It was more of a habit than anything else, but it was a habit that I enjoyed.
Mhm.
It did not change my blood pressure at all, but it had to affect my sleeping. It definitely, most definitely, you can't drink that much caffeine and not have it do something to your gut health. You just can't. Killing all the good bacteria. Come to find out, the different kind of molds and all that stuff that coffee's allowed to have regular coffee. You talked about drinking soda. I would back in the day, I never really drank sugar soda, sugar pop. I drank diet, and I really believe that you read so many things about aspartame, good or bad or whatever. Again, to wash it down with a liter or two of Diet Coke after that, just way too much. And for me to go from 2 pots to 1 cup of Mojo a day is phenomenal. I keep saying change my life, but all these products really, really have improved my health. I feel better. I just feel better.
Yeah.
So Mojo for me. And then,
And what just what before the drum roll here, because one thing that we didn't both say on the Transform, which is one thing that's not hugely on the advertisements and people are learning about when we talk about a product, is the sleep with Transform.
oh
I,
yeah,
I definitely didn't say that. Restful sleep from it. So I didn't want to shy away from that. I know I kind of burst the transition to the one,
that's okay. That's okay.
but I think that was such an important thing that we've all been talking about on social and connecting about how that's getting us into a deeper sleep as a byproduct of all of what it's doing. And I know there's science behind it, so that's starting to come out as to why that might be. But I know that a lot of people, I'm like, is anybody sleeping better? And like, yeah, me. And so it's there too.
Well, it's measurable. Like I bought my Fitbit, 3 years ago because I wanted to get better sleep. I knew that I was
Yeah,
missing that. And I am fanatical about trying to get 8 hours of sleep every single night. And I don't hit it very often, but it's just not the 8 hours. Now I'm noticing that on the 7 hours, because my sleep is better, the score is better. So for whatever that's worth, in terms of, does it really measure? Does it not measure? Don't care.
yeah,
I'm making myself, I'm sleeping better. So I agree with you on that.
yeah.
So I get the feeling that we both have the same number one product, right? So is it Glow for you?
I won't tell. You got to
All
answer.
right, all right. So it's Glow for
I know what
me.
it is. Yeah.
It's Glow for me because at 59 years old, and I consider myself pretty active. So, in my retail job, I'm clocking in according to the Fitbit again, 40 miles a day, walking 40 miles a day on concrete floors. Even if you say, well, you talk with your hands, or you do whatever, take 20% off of that, it's still a lot of miles. Um, Started going fishing in a kayak. My brother and I, 6 hours in a kayak. The arthritis in my back doesn't act up. You talked about driving 9 hours to Michigan, then another 3 hours to Indiana, then back, and then again. My back has not acted up since I've been consistent with taking the Glow Collagen. It's been, I mean, there's no pain. There's no joint pain. I've got a reconstructed elbow, no joint pain there. I can do the things I want to do. I don't worry about it hurting the next day. I don't hurt the next day. It's just a great product. It just is great solution.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so this was the first product that sold me on Tranont. So part of it is one, it's a great product, and we'll continue to tell you why. Two is because it's what made me find Tranont. So I have a really soft spot for how it got me to be in here because I can't imagine my life without these products, but more so the company, and more so than that, we talk about the community and the people all over the place. So
Yep.
basically, long story short, for me was I was looking for a product, and it was biotin. I was at Costco, and I was trying to make sure my skin, my nails could get thicker. They were getting really weak and brittle. I always remember thinking to my grandma, and she's in her 80s, and every time she nicked something, had big bruises and stuff. Like, how did I get that cut on my hand? Because I was reaching into the mailbox or whatever. So for some reason, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's a little bit of indecisiveness sometime, or maybe me wanting to do more research. I did not buy the bottle of biotin at Costco that day. It was in my hand. And so I came home and I came across our good friend Sarah. And I noticed that there was this product and it said the word biotin in it. And so what that ended up being was Glow liquid collagen. So of course I'm like, what's that? I'm ignorant about liquid collagen, a lot of associations to what collagen can and can't be, but learning about how our body's built up, how the type of type 1 is different, the bovine versus fish versus all those other pieces, how ours has protein in it, how ours has biotin, lots of biotin in it. And Um, the amazing part of this story was that this was actually originally an infancy created for hospital, and to help support people who had suffered accidents with burns, so burn victims, and to help recreate that. And so obviously it was adapted from that original goal, but the patent and the proprietary piece is there. So all those things was so amazing. And I had gone to the chiropractor every 3 weeks. My neck was sore, my back was a bit sore, my hips, I had a leg pillow in between my knees just because I'm a bit bigger person, so it was a bit sore. Within days,
Yeah.
within days, I felt younger and less old. Like it was amazing. And so I can sit in that car. Yeah, you might get a little bit, legs might get a little bit sleepy because you're just sitting there stationary trying to move, but you're not sore. And the next day you're not waking up sore, whether it's sports or anything. So this has been a game changer. It has been that catalyst for coming home from work and still feeling like you have, the body to throw the ball with the kids outside on the lawn. So I can't owe enough to, for many reasons, to Glow Liquid Collagen.
Yeah, for me, I mean, 20 years from now, I want everybody to check in and see if it's right. But I still want to be playing basketball. I'll golf. There's no question I'll golf, but I still want to
Yeah,
be playing softball, and I still want to play it at a level that I can compete. So and I want to be clear, and I know you feel the same way. You don't have to take all of these products. You and I take them because we want to learn more about them. We enjoy them. Well, we recognize the benefits for each one of us, and if we're going to talk about it, we want some kind of reality, right? I mean, there's other products that you and I both take as well, and I was talking to my wife this afternoon about it. It has replaced anything else. I probably used to spend the same amount of money on other things, trying other things. I never finished the bottles. I probably have $100 worth of nonsense sitting up there that I'm going to throw away because number one, I don't need them. Number two, they're probably past their expiration date because I was never in a routine. I never felt the benefits enough to get into a routine.
yeah,
Now I know that I can't, I don't want to miss taking my collagen. I don't want to miss taking my Enrich or, Transform has been so crazy for everybody. We keep selling out of it. And
yeah.
I don't want to be out of it. I see those benefits and I want to share those benefits with everybody. And I know you feel the same way.
Absolutely. We want to, one, as we're trying to give experiences, yes, we have a testimony group with over 105,000 people in there right now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's creeping up and up and up. But I think the biggest thing is that we want to, one, try all the products so we can give you our firsthand experience. When we came out last November, about a year from now, with a year from in the past, sorry, with our Rejuvenate skincare cream, I was one of the first ones to use it. I'm like, doesn't matter whether you're who you are, it doesn't matter what gender. Like, one, we're going to use it for that piece, but two, we also want to be able to just have that routine in our life, and it's so easy to have it. It's not like if we miss one day of collagen, like all of a sudden you're back to not feeling. Like
Right.
you build it up over time,
Yep.
but we don't want to miss it.
Right. I
Like
don't.
it's in our grain ingrained. Whereas before, I didn't. I would easily forget to take it. It wasn't something that, and maybe it's because the impact of it. Maybe it's because it's good. All these reasons. So that's a huge piece. And the other one is I always say is that I wouldn't advertise something or we wouldn't risk any sort of respect or integrity to try to promote these products. We just truly want people to benefit from them. And I say my mom uses them. I wouldn't recommend anything that my mom doesn't use.
Sure.
And she uses. So I kind of when you kind of go down that level, it's like whether it's grandma or family member or whatever it is, that would be that sort of accolade or something so important, then that's where I'm at with this.
And that's one of the reasons, and we talk about, my dumb friends all the time, but
Yes.
eventually they're going to come around. I know they
Yeah.
are. And they're going to want to try these things. I think sometimes they don't even realize what some of these products are, or what else we have. I mean, taking, I take our vitamin D and K, I take our vitamin E, and they've all got great names. But at the end of the day, it's what other people are taking. Ours are just, in my opinion, better. I
Yeah.
just all of our products are just better, and they work synergistically with one another. So I can't say enough about that. I really can't.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I was going to go with my next question is saying, okay, from the beginning of our episodes, the intent was always to try to allow our skeptical friends, our dumb friends, our male counterparts to see themselves in these products. We know that it's a female dominated industry in terms of who might be selling them, and I find that to still be a challenge, of course. But I think what our original goal was with these episodes was to allow people to start seeing themselves in the product and centralize that across Tranont because a lot of people are already doing it in pockets. And so I think when I see our advertisements go up like, oh, this is coming up this Sunday, this episode, so many people are being tagged. And if any of those people, just like you or I, we're not talking about people successful in the business or not, anywhere in between. We're talking about people who can benefit from the products and they are getting tagged. So the momentum is building in terms of people seeing themselves, specifically male, in these products for whatever reason.
So I'm assuming, and maybe it's a bad assumption, but I'm assuming people are getting tagged because maybe they're skeptical. The person getting tagged, and
Yep.
someone who cares about them wants them to watch you and I. And hey, there's nothing wrong with being skeptical if you're
No,
willing to
should be.
try and be open to feeling better. Not everything works for everybody. You and I both
Yeah,
understand that, and everything
exactly.
works on different levels, right? But to me, like if you've done all the other things, like Troy's story last week, where he doesn't have to take any narcotics anymore, and he's
Crazy.
all natural, plant based. Are you kidding me with that? He gets
Yeah.
his life back.
Yeah.
That's how you can't put a price on that. So if you're someone who's just sitting in misery and have tried everything and it's still painful, why wouldn't you give the collagen a shot just to see if it does something for you, right?
Yeah.
One consistent 30-day trial, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
So you just I want you to be skeptical, but I want you to be open, right? And then
And part,
because to me that when you get the benefit, then it's going to be your mind's going to be blown. So
And I take the word skeptical in two ways. One is skeptical because you always want to be informed and you should do your research. And I did,
correct.
and you
Yep,
did. So
I
that
did.
that is part of being that sort of definition of skeptical. But the other piece that I think we're really referring to is not being open-minded in a way. And I'm not calling people closed-minded in an insulting way, but like you say, I have my routine. I know what I know. So I'm not going to move on. I'm stubborn. I'm skeptical. I'm whatever. And I think that's where we just want to encourage. Like, they're like, okay, what's it going to cost me? I'm like, 15 minutes of your time. Like, just listen to these stories. Listen to me explain why I would really put myself out on a limb, really, to make sure that you would want to try these.
Well, let's go a different way too. So we talk
Yes.
about the Tranont community, and you can tell me if I'm thinking about this wrong. But what dawns on me is that for the people who are getting tagged, it doesn't do anything monetarily for you and I.
No.
Um, I'm hoping that whoever's tagging them, that they're the ones that are going to sell them the product, and they know that person, so that relationship is stronger because you got them into something that's going to make their life better. You and I are just the messengers here. We're just trying to tell people what it's really, really done for us. We don't get any, there's no back, here's some money on the side for you. There's nothing like that. We're not paid by Tranont to make this live video that you and I do every single week, 25 times now. It's really just trying to what we started out saying from the very beginning, just to change a life and make that life better so that as you get older, your quality of life is better, right? And
Absolutely.
you say it better than I do about, what is it again about the health versus
Yeah, like lifespan versus health span.
yes, life. I can never remember that because I'm
Yeah.
59 for crying out loud. But but that's kind of what gets me excited, to be honest with you. So I appreciate everybody who tags and tries to get
Yes.
somebody else interested. To me, that's a level of care. And in our community, you don't see that. So if you've made it to the end of this video again, thank you very much. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
I was saying that I was on a call with our mentor and who I just mentioned on the call too, Sarah. And I said, you know what? Intrinsically, that's what it really is about for myself. And I know you, Chuck, the way you described it, and just knowing you throughout this journey is that even our guests, like we've had some people who've had a lot of success in this company. We've had some people who are just use the products. We've had everywhere in between. But I think as we look at the pattern of our guests, it's like four or five people who are just like us,
Yep.
and then one who's had success. And so what we also hope is that not only are the people that are getting tagged seeing possibilities as a customer or consumer, we're also, again, non-monetarily getting rewarded because I have intrinsic appreciation that some of our guests are also having a chance to share and expand their
Yep.
network, and they are appreciating some of those efforts for them to be on a stage to maybe get another customer, if not do the same thing we're doing, is seeing some of their friends in that product. So even though I always describe my story as tortoise and the hare, I'm the tortoise. I know I'm content with the pathway. It's been 19 months for me, and I'm really proud of the network we've created, as well as the people that we can be helping, whether product wise or business wise, just by having a platform to share their story.
No question. I think that's I feel exactly the same way you do.
Yeah, I do. I love it, every minute of it. And what I love more is that I got to meet you.
Right back at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those people that are watching this first time, we're in episode 25, as we described at the beginning of the episode. Probably going back, maybe if we did it every week, it might be episode 28. I think there was like, we met 3 weeks, kind of did an episode, or it's
Yeah.
kind of started up. I'm not sure if that's the timeline, 2 or 3 weeks in between us meeting, kind of doing one first one, and then starting this one for ourselves. So we live in different countries.
Yeah.
So I don't think we introduced ourselves again on this episode, but like, I'm Bill Corcoran. I live in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and
Yeah. I'm
we met
Chuck O'Donnell.
this
I live in
time.
New Jersey.
Yeah, and we have not known each other for a really long time. And
No.
so some people think that chemistry, the way our jokes go back and forth, how we kind of feed off of each other, this is just a perfect example of what this company does, is bring people together.
Yep.
And again, just like the products, the company, we mentioned the community. I can't imagine not being able to text you, or you razz me about a hockey game, or just whatever, just saying, enjoy the weekend or whatever
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Right. I'm the same way.
Immensely grateful. Immensely
Very cool.
grateful.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty, buddy. So episode 25 in the books.
In the books.
Yeah. All right. I
Right,
will
man.
say 25 more, but I'm going to say like 2,500 more.
All right.
At minimum. At minimum. So let's keep her going.
You
All
got
right.
it, Billy.
Have a good night, buddy.
Later, everybody.